they can't say anything until they start winning, because we can pick apart every statement that they make until they start winning. Because if we had a coach who was doing well, say Bill Belichick said, I can't learn anything from stats, we'd all be like, yeah, you're right. Bill Belichick can't learn anything from stats. But with Freddie Kitchens, no matter what he says, he's like, I study all the stats. I watch all the film. I do everything. I don't sleep. We'll be like, well, you're doing it wrong. You need to do it differently.
What do you think, D. Wood?
No, I completely agree with Nick here. Listen, whatever the Cleveland Browns got going on right now, it's all wrong. It's just all wrong. Whatever that Freddie Kitchens is saying, nobody cares. Nobody cares until you start winning football games.
Remember, Schefter, the opposite George episode of Seinfeld? Whatever your inclination is, do the opposite. Maybe that's what will work, because the drama in Cleveland, I know, has you frustrated.
Well, listen, every week we're talking about something else in Cleveland, but you see the numbers there, right? 12 interceptions, tied for the most in the NFL. 12 and a half penalties per game, most in the NFL. So what does that tell you? It tells you they're making a lot of mistakes on a weekly basis. They're not playing disciplined football, and they have not met the expectations of anybody who thought that this Cleveland team was good enough to give this city hope, give this city excitement, give this city a reason to cheer and be hopeful, whereas there have been so many disappointing seasons. We didn't think there'd be another disappointing season in Cleveland, and that makes this one even more disappointing than some of the others that have happened.
That's the point. It is more disappointing, because they went from hope to expectations, and that's a big jump. And when you do that and things go wrong, changes generally get made. If this thing does not turn itself around in relatively short order, and the season's this close to getting completely away from them, what's the first shoe that drops?
Well, listen, I think the history of this team, and they say we want to be stable, we don't want to make change, but the history of this team says that they make change. So if they continue to struggle and lead the league in penalties and lead the league in interceptions, the one thing that we could bank on is that there'll be more change coming to Cleveland.
We'll see what that winds up being one way or another.
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens had nothing on his resume that suggested that he should have been a head coach. So I think that people are ready to move on from him. They have a really bad schedule coming forward, meaning they have a lot of bad teams on their schedule.
Soft.
The problem is they are also a very bad team. If they go on to lose to all these bad teams, including 2 games against the Bengals, they lose either one of those games, I can imagine that no one there will be able to put up a fight to keep Freddie Kitchens. He might have to go.
Well, look, the beginning of the easy part of the schedule has already happened. They played Denver without their quarterback. That's supposed to be a game that you win to get yourself healthy and going in the right direction, and they didn't do it.
I think people really underestimate. I know there was a lot of joy and excitement with the Cleveland Browns, but I think a lot of people really underestimated how hard it is to change a culture within an organization.
And how hard it is to change a culture when you're putting an inexperienced coach with some big personalities.
That's
and
right.
That creates a combustible combination.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you're wondering where the leadership is coming from. And you've made the point that, generally speaking, Odell Beckham Jr. has acted like the leader on this group. And you want to talk about the opposite of what anyone would have expected.
Yeah, you could point to his shoe situation or his watch situation and say those things are somewhat immature. But when we are looking at quotes coming out of that locker room, the only one who has the quotes that I'm like, hey, this guy cares about this and it means something to him is Odell Beckham.
Maybe the best thing you can do there is ignore the noise.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.